Hi guys! Oh my gosh, this is so exciting. Welcome to my YouTube channel. This has been such a long time coming. I literally can't even tell you. If you're coming from TikTok, welcome. It's good to see you on this platform. And if you're discovering me on YouTube, that's super exciting too. If you don't know me, my name's Kenzie. I'm 21 years old, living in an apartment on my own, and I make TikTok videos, now YouTube videos, and I'm super excited to be here today talking to you about long distance. 'Tis the season for long distance relationships. School is starting up soon. College is starting up soon. I have a lot of friends that go to different colleges than their significant others. Maybe that's you, maybe that's why you clicked on this video. So if you can relate to doing long distance in any sort of capacity, this is definitely the video for you. So keep watching for some good long distance advice. For those who don't know, I myself am in a long distance relationship. I've been in one for over a year now. My boyfriend lives in Washington and I live in Idaho. We live about 500 miles away from each other, so that is a 1-hour flight and an 8-hour drive. In this year of long distance, I feel like I've learned a lot of helpful tips, so I wrote them all down on my phone and I'm going to be sharing them with you today. First of all, I want to start by being completely, brutally honest with you, giving you all of the tea that you need, and tell you that long distance is so hard. I did not feel actually prepared for a long distance relationship when I started one. I feel like long distance is so romanticized in the movies. You know, they only show you like the parts where they're finally coming home to each other and it's like so exciting, and like, you know, you see that and you're like, oh my gosh, I can totally do long distance, it'll be great. And then you get into it and they leave for like 2 hours and you're like, cool, this is not as fun as I thought it was gonna be. There are days where it can just be like the hardest thing in the world to get through, and you think to yourself, how am I ever gonna actually sustain this? How are we ever gonna stay together? And I am here to tell you that while it is hard, it is also very, very possible, and you can do it too. So with that being said, let's get into my advice. My first tip, and one that I'm sure you've heard a million times over, it's the most important thing in a long distance relationship, is communication. Now, not to toot my own horn, but I was a communication major in college, and so I spent 4 years studying the importance of communication and its impact on our lives. To put it bluntly, if you don't have good communication with your partner, you're just not gonna make it. I feel like a good way to put it is to be like a jellyfish. You just have to be super transparent with your partner. You can't hide anything from them. You really just need to tell them everything so that you can develop that really strong trust between you two, and that is what's gonna actually carry you through long distance. Tip number 2 is to remember that you are on the same team. I cannot tell you how many times this has gotten my boyfriend and I through little arguments and stuff. You know, we'll be arguing about something little, something annoying, something small, just because we're frustrated with being away from each other, and I will sit back and be like, why are we even arguing about this? We are on the same team. It's us against the world. We can't be fighting with each other like this. I think when you remember that you're on the same team and you're actually working towards the... Rude. If you can remember that you're not alone in this and your partner's also going through it, you can recognize that you two are actually a team fighting against the same enemy, and it will help you to just be a lot more connected and feel a lot stronger as you go through this long distance relationship. Okay, my third tip, and this might be something that goes against a lot of the other videos that you might watch on long distance, is to not put too much pressure on talking to your partner every day. When I was going into a long distance relationship, I was watching videos just like this, trying to get advice on how to survive, and a lot of the videos were saying, oh, you should schedule a certain time every day to talk to your partner. And that ultimately ended up really hurting my partner and I's relationship. When my boyfriend and I first started doing long distance, we scheduled a time every night to talk. Let's say it was like 9 o'clock at night. Well, my boyfriend would work super early in the morning until mid-afternoon, and then I had school mid-afternoon all the way until evening, and then I also worked in the evenings. And so it became really hard to actually meet that quota, I guess, of talking at 9 o'clock every night. And it ultimately ended up putting this huge strain on our relationship because we couldn't actually talk to each other at 9, and we felt this pressure like we had to, like we needed to. And we ended up getting in little arguments like, we don't talk to each other as much as we should, or you don't make enough time for me, or you're too busy for me, or whatever it was. And I think we both just sort of realized that if we don't put pressure on ourselves to talk every single day, and we really cherish those moments where we do get to talk, it makes them so much more special. We don't feel bad when we're busy. We don't feel bad about our schedules. We don't feel bad about the things that we can't control, and we just spend the time that we do have together focused on each other and recognizing how special and important and valuable that time is to us. My fourth tip is a tip that I got from my mom. So before my mom and my dad got married, they did long distance. My dad lived in Washington and my mom lived in Florida, and this was before like FaceTime or texting, you know. They had to pay for their calls, so you know, their phone bills were going through the roof because they were talking so much. So when I asked my mom for advice, the first thing that she said to me, and probably the best advice that I can give you, is do your absolute best to plan the next time that you see each other before you say goodbye. My boyfriend and I have done a pretty good job of doing this, but there have been a couple times where we haven't actually been able to plan out the next time we're going to see each other, and let me tell you, it is so hard to say goodbye to the person that you love when you don't know when you're gonna see them next. So if you can, if you know your schedule well enough, if you have the ability, please, please, please do your best to schedule the next time you're gonna see your person. It makes it so much easier to go through those long periods of being away from each other if you actually know that you have something to look forward to. Tip number 5 is to use more than just technology. Obviously, I'm so grateful to have something like FaceTime where I can actually see my boyfriend and talk to him. It's so nice to have a cell phone so that I can call him and text him whenever, but there is just something about handwritten letters that is so much better than a FaceTime call. A big piece of communication is touch. And one of the best ways to be able to experience that touch even when you're at a distance is sending letters, sending packages. Obviously you don't have to splurge a ton of money on like buying them gifts and sending it to them, but honestly one of the most heartfelt things that you can give your partner is a handwritten letter. I literally have a couple of them right here, and they're so nice to have because whenever I'm having a hard day or long distance has just been hard, I can go back to these letters and I can read them, and it always makes me feel better. Like seriously, they're just the cutest. You have to give your partner handwritten letters. They're so special. You can keep them forever, and it's gonna make your partner feel really special when they see that letter in the mail from you. Tip number 6 is to use the bad days to your advantage, because there will be bad days, and if you're not benefiting from them in any sort of way, what are you doing? There will be days when you nitpick at each other. There will be days where you get into little arguments. A lot of times I find that that happens when I haven't had enough time to talk to my boyfriend and I'm feeling disconnected from him. It's just a reality of long distance. It's a side effect of being away from the person that you love. It happens to all of us. Your relationship's not bad because of it. You're not in danger because of it. It's not even a sign that your relationship is unhealthy. It just is normal. When those little arguments and those disagreements and that nitpicking happens though, it is a chance for you to really step back and learn your partner's communication style. It's a chance to figure out what they like and what they don't like. It's a chance to cater to them, figure out how you can make them feel better, which I think will ultimately benefit you in the long run when your relationship is no longer distance. And my last tip, tip number 7, is to really appreciate the time that you do have together. Long distance is a constant reminder not to take your partner for granted, not to take time with your partner for granted. That time with your person is to be cherished, and it's special and it's fleeting and it won't last forever. I don't think there will ever come a time in my life when I take being together with my boyfriend for granted because of this year and however much longer of long distance that we have together. Yeah, just don't take the time that you have together for granted, because being in love and love in general is the greatest gift that we have as humans and the greatest gift that we can give to one another in this life. So anyway, long distance is hard, but it's possible, and you can do it as long as you and your partner are both fully committed to it. You are going to be just fine as the school year approaches, or as your long distance relationship approaches, or if you've been in a long distance relationship for a while and you just wanted some advice or a reminder, you can do it. You're going to be okay. You guys are going to make it out, I promise. Anyway, that's all for today's video. Don't forget to hit that like button if you had a good time, hit that subscribe button if you want to stick around, and hit that bell icon if you want to be notified every single time that I post. And leave me a comment telling me about your long distance relationship. I want to hear all about it. Thanks friends, I'll see you in the next one. Bye!